I'm sharing now or no?
Yes, you can share now.
Okay, so let me see here. All right, let me get my act together here, share. Okay, we good? Hello, good evening. I just would like to welcome everybody here for our seminar this evening or workshop on ways to increase your financial literacy as a small business owner. And thank you for taking this step, obviously, to get more information. And we'll have a second presentation on next week about how to increase profits for 2023. Okay, so we'll start off with just kind of, defining what is financial literacy. Okay, financial literacy is just having the possession of certain skills and knowledge that allows an individual to make informed and effective decisions on all of their financial resources. Some of the ways we can, as a small business owner, become more financially literate is to review our financial statements. And you probably have heard this several times. I'm not sure in the audience, but we can speak a little bit later on how many people are familiar with financial statements. We'll talk briefly about it. One thing that a financial statement can help us to determine if we're overspending. This is definitely a way to become more financially literate, to understand what's happening within your business. We could also to identify if you're making poor business decisions and poor business investments. Maybe you're investing in some vehicle, some type of tool or equipment that's really not, making the return on the investment that you thought it could. And maybe we need to rethink that. Or you have more staff than you need. We can look at those expenses as well within the financial statements. First of all, when we're starting to kind of get to know the financial statements, we want to probably just review the simple things first. And that's looking at our cash flow, maybe just on a weekly basis. How is the cash coming into this business? Do we have a certain stream that comes in every week, every month? Do we have a seasonal business? Just looking at the cash flow on a weekly basis will help you become more financially literate. Also, to knowing and checking your income and your expenses on a monthly basis, tallying up what did you spend within that business throughout that time period, and what came in, what sales did you actually produce? And over time, you'll start to understand the financial statements. And it may be very overwhelming for the person that has never, took an accounting course or never really dealt with financial statements before. But once, you start practicing on a weekly basis and a monthly basis, you'll get a chance to know it a little bit more. A second way to become more financially literate is to really talk to your banker. How many people may have a relationship with your banker where you may meet with them once a month? And now that we have Zoom or any other type of virtual call, you may have a virtual meeting with your banker just to go over certain things. What the banker can do is help you to learn more about ways to develop a healthy financial plan for your business. And we'll kind of take a little bit step back and talk about what that looks like. But that's one of the main purposes of getting to know your banker. They also can help you to know where your business stands right now, help you to make some informed decisions. Again, should we hire more staff? Should we buy more equipment? Should we invest in more technology? What should we do with our resources? Talking to your banker as well will help you know more about your cash flow. They can sit down with you and look at your monthly statements. They can look at your income statements with you, as well as your balance sheet with your organization. Now, components of a business plan's financial plan or business's financial plan would first be your income statement or your profit and loss, your P&L. And you might have heard that term before. It will show you what and how your business has experienced profits or losses over a certain period of time. The things that might be listed in your income statement or your P&L is how much does it cost to produce your service or your products? You'll also have your operating expenses included in that P&L statement, such as your utility bills, your rent, and other expenses. Then lastly, you'll be looking at your streams of income, like what streams of income have been coming in over that period. And then you'll be checking your income versus your expenses or your net profits. Another component of your small business financial plan is your balance sheet. And this will help you to see where you are right now. It'll help you to see what you owe out to your suppliers or debtors. It'll also to, look at what you own. So things that we would be looking at or evaluating in your balance sheet would be how much cash you have on hand, how much goods and services you might have at this time, what resources do you own and have available that can convert to cash at any time. Next, we have our liabilities. What do we owe our suppliers, our personnel, our landlords, or even our creditors? Our shareholders' equity will tell us just how much we actually own without the business, or within the business, excuse me. And then lastly, our personnel plan. So what is the personnel plan? This is simply a strategy that help you to figure out, the right people that you need within your business to meet your goals and retain a healthy cash flow. So you want to look at your existing staff. Do you have a part-timer? Do you have full-timers? How many part-timers do you have or do you need? We look at now and then how you want to expand and grow that business when we're looking at our personnel plan. Do we want to hire some contractual staff as well? Maybe not someone part-time or full-time, but an independent contractor. Looking at the costs associated with hiring someone is a big part of your financial literacy and understanding that part of your business. You also get a chance to evaluate, does it even make sense to hire new staff members on your team? The next part of that small business financial plan could be your sales forecasting. How much do you have, to sell in a specific period of time? You have goals that you meet ongoing, you're reviewing them and constantly planning for the future. Looking at your cash flow forecast is also going to help you to predict, how the cash flow, how the cash is coming in, whether you're having heavy cash during certain periods, whether it's a seasonal business, whether at the beginning of the month, the end of the month, and looking at the overall health of your business. You also want to look at your break-even analysis. And this is something that's also very, very important for a small business owner to understand how much do you need to sell to cover all of your expenses. And most people don't sit down and do the calculations, but it is something very important to understand to have a healthy overall financial future within your business. It'll help you to guide your sales volume as well as looking at your goals. Another way that you can become more financially literate is to take a course. Like today, coming on to the webinar is the first step, but you might want to take a course. Now, I'm not saying to become a finance major or accounting major, but you might take an accelerated course or condensed course that may finish between 12 and 18 months. And now that we have, again, the virtual component, you might want to investigate some other areas that are going to have a virtual class for you to take. You don't want to take any shortcuts because you want to, you owe it to yourself and your business to get as much information as you can. Next, we want to keep up with some market changes. It's a vital part of being financially literate, understanding what new financial products that are out there or services that does exist for a small business owner. And two, educating yourself on basic financial terms, whether it's cash flow, again, the money or the flow that's coming in and out of the business, your asset allocation, if you're investing in your business and you have stocks and bonds and cash, looking at what percentage is in the market, what percentage is in a safe money market or bank account, and understanding that. And then even also your risk management. How are you protecting your business? What type of insurances do you have in place? Do you have a liability insurance? Do you also have life insurance if you're a key person within this business? Do you have disability insurance? And, a lot of people during the pandemic and then thereafter, if you're sick, you're ill, not able to work your business for a certain period of time, you want to have that protection, that asset protection, or that risk management strategy that's in place. Next, you might even want to seek a mentor or a few. I think that's also too important. A mentor can help you to set certain goals and budgets. And this is someone that's in a similar business as yours who pretty much have gone through that stage. They may be starting up their business, or you may be starting up your business, but you want to speak to someone who's at a different or higher stage than you would be in your business. You might have one mentor, or you might have several. You might even have to hire a mentor if you needed to, but someone that can help you educate you on how to manage your money within your business and you're allocating your resources. Establishing your priorities. Now, this is also too very important. Most people, it's the beginning of the year. You try to set goals, whether it's for yourself or for your business. It's very important for the planning process. You might aim to have a certain amount of profits within your business this year for 2023. But what else are you trying to accomplish? Have you truly sat down to look at what other areas of your business do you need to kind of, increase sales? Do you need to expand your product offerings? The services that you're offering, the product line that you sell? Do you want to provide a more customized experience for your clients? Whether you want to meet with them virtually, face-to-face, or a combination, different ways that you might want to alter or set goals for your business for 2023. Identifying your priorities will help you to determine where you are now and also, too, where you would need to be in the future and where your business is going. And now you want to hire some professionals. And when I talk about professionals, I'm meaning a financial advisor as well as an accountant. Whether the person's a CPA or they prepare taxes, you do need to speak to experts in this area to help you within your business planning. They can sit down and have dialogues with you on an ongoing basis. A lot of times people just want to deal with their taxes and speak to their tax advisors during tax season, like now, February, March, April. And then after that, they don't even speak to their accountant or their financial professionals throughout the year. But it's something that you should do on an ongoing basis. Then they can also help you to become more and more financially literate, meeting with them on a regular basis. Also, to having an open dialogue with them about your questions and ways to increase your financial literacy about your business. Maybe looking at and reviewing your financial statements or just being on top of your day-to-day expenses, the cash flow. Maybe this is just a start, right? But also making sure you have an open dialogue, planning that after tax season is over with, when are you going to meet with your accountant or your tax preparer? Maybe you would meet with them on a quarterly basis to look at, how taxes are being paid, how income and expenses are going in and out of the business and through the business. Your financial professional, your financial advisor can help you with investments. During this tax season, you may have the need to open up an IRA or a small simplified pension plan. These are ways that you can actually reduce taxes for yourself and also to save for the future. If you are a small business owner and you're looking for other ways and avenues to save on taxes and also to save for retirement, you can open a solo 401k, a single 401k. If you're self-employed or you're just, not having staff yet, it's just yourself, you can also put away monies for retirement and defer them for taxes. These are things that you're going to sit down with your tax professional and your financial advisor to say, hey, how can I offer myself some benefits that I would normally have in a large organization, but now I want to offer them for my small business and my staff. So whether that's 1, 10, under 20, you can offer small business packages that can help accommodate you also for planning for the future. And that's pretty much the general gist of some of the ways you can begin to become more financially literate during the stages. If you're at a startup or not, you might be looking at ways to advance in your financial literacy. I wanted to take some time to maybe answer some questions within the chat. We do have time available, obviously, to learn more about some of your needs if you want to open up the line. Jay, I'm not really sure if you're able to open it up for questions.
Hi, Berlene. There's a question.
Oh, okay.
Hi. So there's a question in the chat. It states, what about benefits like health?
Health benefits, certainly. That is, how big is the business? I'm not sure. Let me look in the chat and see. Do you have employees in your business, or is it just one person? This Valerie, right? Okay, yes. Do you have more than one employee? And just to respond to that, so if you have just one employee, we do have to go to the New York New York State of Health, excuse me, to get plans. But if you have more than one employee, you can have a small business package where there are small insurances that you can actually get for your staff. You don't have to pay for it, but you have to offer it. So it can be a salary reduction for your staff to pay for their own medical insurance. As the business owner, you can offer the benefits for just the employee and not the family if you need to cut back on expenses. So there's ways that you can kind of modify that for sure. But if it's only one person, you do have to get the insurance from the New York State. Employees, I see something. Employees gets benefits through partners. Is there a question, or that was just a comment? Oh, okay, a comment. Okay, all right. So, so as far, I hope I answered the question for the medical insurance. Yes, okay. Any other questions? I think there was 2 questions in the chat.
Yep. So the other question is, what's the maximum number of hours a part-time employee can work?
So now that's a good question. The maximum number of hours. So the part-time person can work as much as you want to actually work them, per se. But as far as the IRS is concerned, let me just look up that in the chat really quick. Let me see. That's a very good question. I know that part-timers can work as many hours as you need them, that the status changes obviously when you want to bring them on full-time regularly. But let me get that answer for you. Do you have part-time workers right now? Less than 30 hours in 1 week, right? Less than 30 hours in 1 week. But it could be up to 40 hours, 30 to 40. Do you have part-time workers in your business right now? So I think there's a question about the small business. The person has a fashion photography business. And you register your business name. You have your tax ID number. So what's going to be the next step? Did you set up a small business plan for yourself? Do you have a small business plan? Have you been working in this business already, or Not yet. It's just a business idea that's coming to pass right now. You do have the small business plan. Okay. So some of the things that you're trying to accomplish right now, are you trying to hire staff within this business, or it's just going to be yourself? You have staff right now? Oh, just yourself. You're just beginning and it's just you. Okay. So, okay. So right now, have you gone to the bank to actually sit down with your banker to open up an account yet? Not yet. So, one of the things I would definitely recommend, if you hadn't yet, to go now that you have your tax ID number, to go to the bank and establish a bank account for your small business. This is, again, tax season, so it's a great time to sit down with your accountant as well and speak more about taxes if you have to start making estimated quarterly tax payments for this business. Did you meet with your accountant in 2022? Sylvania? Did you meet with your accountant or CPA for last year with your business? Or you're just starting everything in 2023? Okay, you're just starting in 2023. Great. Okay. So this is a great time. So you want to definitely sit down with your accountant, go to the bank, establish that bank account, and start having it's a brand new business. Okay, awesome. Well, first of all, congratulations. That's the first thing in order. So happy that you're on the call and so happy that you're, in on this seminar right now, this webinar to get more information. But congratulations on your small business and the success of your business. With the business plan, you want to go right now actually to that plan since you're just starting. How are you going to market that business to grow the business and expand some sales? Is right already in your business plan. You probably already took the time to kind of, map that out. Now you want to set up that business account in your bank and you want to sit down with your accountant to get that quarterly tax payment that you should be putting aside and how to manage your money on an ongoing basis from day one. Thank you for that question. I just saw that second one. Any other questions in the chat that it didn't answer yet? We definitely want to open it up. Is there a new message?
Not yet, but I'll let you know when one comes in.
Okay. All right. Has anyone on the call started to that might be in business already besides the new business for 2023? Has anyone started looking at their financial statements? Just by a show of hands in the chat. Anyone has been, okay, we have one response. Okay.
Yeah, Indy said she hasn't.
Okay. It's a really good time now because you're sitting down with your accountant to start having those conversations and getting more and more familiar about the day-to-day transactions that go on your financial statements. If you don't have QuickBooks and if you're not kind of keeping a record of it yourself, but your accountant is doing it, on their own, then it's time to look at the QuickBooks and look at, what's happening with your sales. How many people have actually set sales goals or forecasts for 2023? Like, do you know what you're planning to make for the first quarter in sales? In the chat, anybody have really sat down and looked at it, look at that and reviewed it? Excuse me. Excuse me.
Darlene, I just wanted to go back on a comment made about the part-time hours.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I believe you stated that it was anything between 30 and 40. Or
Excuse me.
it's okay.
I'm sorry. Yes,
Okay, so there was a comment in the chat about the part-time hours being under 30.
less than 30 per week. Excuse me.
Okay,
Less than 30 per week, but again, if you're going over that, then you're considered a full-time employee. I think, so someone did say they did make a financial goal for the year. That was Indy. Great, okay. So now tracking it, because we're already in the second month. We started the second month. Have you actually tracked what you thought you would make in January? Your forecast versus the actual, right? That's another thing you want to do. You don't want to just set the goals and not go back and see, well, did we achieve those goals? Were you able to achieve the goal for the first month of the year? Have not tracked yet. Okay, so that's fine. We're just in the beginning. We're in the first week of January. Sorry, February. So, but again, this is a great time because this is the beginning of the year to learn and start some new healthy financial habits, looking at what we accomplished the previous month. So let's say your projections were to make a certain dollar amount in sales. You know, were we plus or minus? Did we achieve those goals? A nice thing that you can do as well, if you're not putting it in front of you, like on a whiteboard or having it on your device, you know, looking at it constantly, like what those goals are. You want to be reminded, you know, did I make the goals? And then now you know what you need to do to produce a little bit more. You know, or did I fall short? Or do I have surpluses? On my profit and loss statement for the first month, you know, did I show a profit in 2023? We'll have that conversation briefly as well next week on ways to make profits in 2023 with your small business. Oh, we have another comment or chat. You're working on your billing, okay? And you're not sure if you hit the goal. Okay, all right. So that's a good thing. And the billing could be on a weekly basis, you know, every 3 weeks, every 2 weeks, just depends on how, you know, the nature of your business, obviously. But certainly by the end of February, we should have it all wrapped up, really what happened in January. What were the expenses that you paid out already in the new year? Your utilities, your rent, and if you're working from home, you know, what expenses are you able to write off? And that's the conversation you're going to be speaking with your accountant about, whether it's your cell phone, your office space that you're renting, your office line, you know, et cetera, things like that, that you're going to be writing off. What were your expenses? What was your payroll? Did you pay yourself? A lot of times small businesses do not pay themselves. So it's time now to speak with your accountant. How can I have a small salary from my business? You know, how can I start taking money from the business to pay myself? All right. Did anybody, so we have another question. Okay, so you're working on figuring out what you can write off. You do work from home. Okay. So going back to that write-off, if you haven't scheduled already that meeting with your accountant, they should give you a list of what are expenses that you're going to be able to write off on your taxes. And then they can tell you, again, like give you some ideas on maybe some things that you're not doing that you can do that are write-offs. And it could be simply as setting up a retirement plan or an IRA for yourself to get a tax deduction this year. It's not too late to actually make contributions into an IRA or SEP for your small business. You can still do that as long as you haven't filed your taxes. The deadline is still open. And we have a question in the chat. How do I approach clients since I'm pretty new in the photography business? Okay, so when we're talking about approaching clients, are you meaning how are you going to increase sales? Is that the question? So you do have okay, you have a background in advertising and fashion photography, but
The-
you're new in the United States. Okay. All right. So is the question, okay, the question is, how do I approach clients? So how are you going to get new clients at this time? Now, do you have a business plan as well? Yes, okay. So in your marketing, your sales and marketing section of your business plan, you should have some stated goals, specifically whether it is on social media to approach them. Are you doing photography for businesses, individuals, group photography? What type of photography business do you have? Okay, it's retail photography. So if my family wants to take family portraits, this is the business that you're in right now? Okay, all right. So now, okay, this is great. So are you able to target on a specific audience? Are you working again with families, businesses? Are you doing like photo shots, headshots for corporations, fashion, beauty? Okay, and magazines. Okay, also too in weddings. So now, not for us to get on like a one-on-one consultation. I'm more than happy to do that with you offline because I'm one of the business consultants at the EAP Center. But in general, we just need to figure out where are these clients? Where are your target audiences? Someone that's in fashion or beauty, where can you find them? Are they mostly on what platforms of social media? And you can do some research to find that out. Are they mostly on Snapchat or are they mostly on Instagram? I would imagine something that's going to show images, obviously, that they may be there on that social media platform. So where are they? And then how can you start marketing to them to let them know that, hey, you're here, you're available, and such. So you can, and maybe we can put in the chat, Jennifer, just a number where they can reach us in the office to sit down and have a one-on-one on, a marketing strategy for their small photographer business. That would be great. Thank you. I think I had another question. Thank you. The number in the chat, if you can't see, is the 631-851-6214.
The next question said, curious, when you work from home, can part of the mortgage be a write-off?
Well, parts of the mortgage interest is a write-off anyway, so that's going to be a write-off on your personal side, no matter what. It depends on if you have a private area in your home that's your business, right? What percentage is it a private room? Is it just in your living room? Is this a space? So it just depends on what you have. There's a certain percentage of that space that you can actually write off on your taxes. But definitely the mortgage interest, you will get the tax break for that on your personal side. Indy was saying, okay, if you have no employees, where do I go to get medical insurance? Okay, yes. So are you in New York? I'm just assuming, I'm sorry, I'm assuming that you're in New York. If you're not in New York, you can go on the state website. And for New York Healthy, it's the New York State website to get your medical insurance. And your medical expenses are portions of your write-offs too as well, if you're, self-employed or have your own business. Are there some other questions that I missed, Jen? I'm trying to make sure I'm looking at the,
Nope, I'm checking. Oh,
okay.
here we go. Can you write off your rent? I use one of my bedrooms for my business.
So As far as the business itself, rent now, it's gonna be a certain percentage of the space. So it's like, do you have one room, your bedroom, that's what you're using. So there's a certain, like, there's a whole formula to that on terms of the size and the space that you're using. It should be some write-offs for it. Your phone, if you have a landline for a fax, I'm not sure if you're using faxes or not, but the phones are also to write off any supplies that you've purchased for your small business. Whether it's a computer, your cell phone bills, those are all write-offs for your business. You're in a 3-bedroom apartment, okay, right, okay. So but you might have, again, some other expenses that are associated with the business that are definitely write-offs. How about your cell phone or a phone line? I'm not really sure if you have that. And I'm not sure if you're seeing people. You definitely, okay, I think you're saying you definitely use your cell phone. Is that what you're saying? Okay, yeah. So yeah, the cell phone bill could be written off if you're actually seeing clients. I'm not sure if you're going to clients, you want to track. You do travel to see clients as well. So you want to track your mileage, because of course, if you're using a vehicle, it's not you know, all the miles that are on your car or your vehicle for business purposes, but you want to track it. So you want to track the miles that you're using and then have that information that you can share with your accountant so that it can tell you what percentage of that travel expense can be written off. You can't write off things like your car insurance and things like that, but you can write off the mileage. Okay, I think that was Indy that traveled to see clients. Okay, I'm not sure if anybody, okay. I don't know if there's any new chats, questions in the chat. So as far as the financial statements and just, looking at your financial expenses, your balance sheet, again, is very, very important, looking at the assets that you own. And on a personal basis, it's not a bad idea to look at, your own profit and loss, right? What income you have coming in and what expenses that you have going out personally. And as a business owner, I think it's more and more important to find out and track your expenses personally and seeing where you're wasting on a personal level. It'll help you also too with your small business and ways to look at those expenses versus your personal expenses. So, do you have a budget? How many people in the chat or on the webinar have a budget that they're working with to kind of track their own cash flow? Anybody? Okay. Yes, Valerie does have. Okay. And Savannah does. Okay, perfect. So, I mean, that's a great start, and you're becoming more and more financially literate, tracking what you're doing with your own expenses. It helps you to be more mindful within your business as well. Is anyone putting aside a certain dollar amount? Let's just say on a personal level and also to you in your business. Are you paying yourself and putting a little bit aside into your business account? No, not yet. Okay. So that may be, a place to start as well. If you're speaking to your banker or your financial advisor, ways that you can put away just a little bit. Even if it's just $50 a month, $100 a month. I don't really know what your cash flows look like, but people think that they can't even invest or start to put away monies with a little. But you can start with where you are and build on that. So it's the new year. I strongly suggest if you can start very small, maybe $25 a week or $100 a month or $5 a week or $20 a month, whatever you have, starting is very, very important. You haven't opened the business account yet. Okay, so yes, that's something that we want to do. That, that was one of my first or second suggestions, to sit down with your banker and get that relationship started. The other side of that is establishing credit for the bank, the business. So one of the ways that you're going to do that is, speak with your banker, have a relationship with your banker, and they can tell you, like, if there's some loans that are available, lines of credit for your business that you might need for working capital down the line. They can tell you how you can get approved for certain loans or line of credits to even expand your business, if this is something that you're looking for. So building that relationship, having a certain amount of deposits come in, they're looking at what your, how you pay your bills, or you pay your bills on time. One of the ways you can do that is establish credit for your business. So start actually maybe even with a secured credit line, meaning if I have $500 of my own in the business, get a secured credit card for maybe just $500. So you're establishing credit because you have the $500, you're putting it into the bank account, and from that point, they're giving you a credit line. So it's small, but it's a start. And then later, as you're building, a stronger relationship with the bank, and you're starting to build more savings or deposits there with the bank, they can increase your credit limit. And at some point, your bank, or your business rather, can have credit, right? Loans, expansions, buy equipment, buy land, buy property, if you're looking to build wealth, through your business as well. How many people have, incorporated or have an LLC at this point? Okay, so Indy does have the LLC, great. So you're already protecting your assets at this particular time. If you're working as a sole proprietor, this is a good time to speak also too with your accountant to see, does it make sense to establish an LLC, which will give you limited liability in the event there's any lawsuits or any litigation with your business. That LLC will protect that asset as it starts to grow and your business is growing. It's in the limited liability company. And it's like the quickest way and an inexpensive way to incorporate, but certainly it's a protection. It gives you it offers you some protection against litigation. So if you are, working as a sole proprietor right now, you don't have the business incorporated, you don't have a C Corp, an S Corp, a partnership, or an LLC, maybe it's a time to speak with your accountant to see what revenues are coming in. And should you not be exposed as far as risk management, do you need to establish some type of corporation? Oh, is there another comment, I think, in the chat? Can I also work in other countries as well? So are we talking about the photography business? Yes. So I'm not sure, what country are you here in the US? Okay, yes, you work in New York. All right. So with the internet right now, I'm pretty sure the world is open to you. I'm pretty sure that's something that you can expand and open your business to if that's where you want to go. A good question for your accountant, because now we have to deal with the taxes and other issues in different countries and exchanges. So you might want to speak to your accountant as well. If you want to go abroad and do business internationally, why not? Most businesses right now, we're all global, right? We have a global society that we live in right now. Due to the pandemic, everything is international right now. Everyone is on the web. Most businesses are global. And that might be a way that you expand your offerings this year. If you're starting off and you're just in the United States, now you want to go global. So yes, okay, so can I change my business? business name or the business? I think the name is what you're asking. You can, you can change your business name. And there may be reasons why you want to change it, but that could be also to something that we can discuss as far as marketing in a one-on-one session, but certainly you can change a business name. And I'm not sure if everyone knows your brand already, and changing your business name, you might not want to do that. It just depends on how far, you've been branding your product. Do you want to make a major change with the business name, or something just, a minor adjustment? Okay, just a brand name. You want to change the name itself. Okay, the business is under your personal name. The business is registered under your name specifically? It's under your name. Okay, so yes, right now it is under your name. So yes, so in terms of branding, you definitely, unless you want the brand to be your name, right? It could be very well. Certain, business owners have the name, their name as the brand, right? But you want to do something that's more professional, right? Okay, so yes, if you're building a brand, whatever that is for your photographer business or whatever business you're in, if it's Nike, again, they have their reason why they have Nike as the name of the business, but what is the brand that you're trying to represent? Or what is the well, sorry, when you choose the name, you have to also to think about the brand. So are you trying to be, well known for, a high-end business, a moderately priced business, or a lower price, more economically priced? So that may have something to do with the name and what names you choose before diving into and changing it. You want to think about that as well. Anyone else within the chat right now, besides setting the business goals maybe and setting priorities? Has anyone thought about what they want to learn more about with financial literacy? And maybe there's topics that I can actually discuss on another meeting? You're welcome. Is there something that relates to, again, your financial literacy that you might want to put in the chat that you want to learn more about, and we can expand on that to bring the resources that you really want and or need?
And definitely contact me tomorrow so we can start setting up one-on-one appointments.
Okay, that's Jennifer. If you again see the number in the chat, that's the office number, and we can set one-on-one appointments with everyone that's on the call if you hadn't already. We're meeting virtually, so wherever you are, we can still accommodate at this point. And certainly jump on a Zoom call or a conference call if we need to. Okay, Jen is also putting in the chat our email. Thank you for calling tomorrow to schedule that one-on-one. We really appreciate that. We have an aim to help small businesses, and we're also, everyone on the call, we also have a couple of other members of our team, but we all have a passion to help people, and first and foremost, and secondly, we're like on a mission to help as many small business owners as we can to be successful. We have our, excuse me, our small business women and minority expert on the call as well, Ms. Harvey. We have Jennifer, who's our assistant on the call as well, and Jay. And we're all here to help in any way we can. So if this, call didn't, we're not able to answer a one-on-one, we certainly are here to do that in the office. All right, you're quite welcome. Any topics, so I just really want to know if there's any topics that relate to financial literacy that we can bring to a future webinar. Okay, so Indy, we're looking forward to hearing from you also too with the call. Thank you. All right. Just wanted to do a little commercial if we can for the second webinar. It's going to be relating to ways that we can, increase our profits in 2023 for small businesses. And we'll share on that webinar on next week, Thursday, same time at 7 o'clock. We'll try to jump on at 7 p.m. Please sign up for it. We'd love to have all of you come back if you can. And hopefully by then we would have scheduled some appointments to have some one-on-one consults with those who are on the call and have further questions. Okay, you're a small business and you're not sure what you're doing and you're here to learn everything. Okay, so definitely. So that will definitely be a one-on-one chat where we can kind of go over where you are and learn more about your business and how we can help you to expand or just, grow your business in any way that we need to help you. Has anyone on the call been in business over 12 months, over a year? Any other participants been in business over 12 months? Okay, yes, okay. All right. Awesome. Has anybody been in business over 5 years? Okay. All right, so this is great. All right, so you're already, a couple of people in the chat have already been in their business over 5 years. And now becoming more financially, getting the financial literacy that you want for your business. Maybe there's a specific area that you want to focus on because you've been in business, longer than 12 months that you think we can focus on in part of the next chat. Okay, so one since 2018. One business has been around since 2018. Okay, so you're doing your business now on the side. You haven't really made it a full-blown business. Well, the good news is, even if you're doing your business part-time, you still have a lot of tax benefits and a lot of write-offs that you can still incorporate as you're going on as far as the business is growing. But if you're looking to replace your full-time position with your business, this is probably where we can help you to become your own boss and, perhaps leave your business and leave your place of business that you're working for and start your own business to replace that income. And there's nothing wrong with having multiple streams of income. It's a valuable way to reallocate or allocate your resources. Okay. Jen, I'm not sure if you have any other additional announcements. It's now 7:55. I just want to make sure that we don't hold anybody up and that we end promptly. Is there any additional?
My only
announcement?
other announcement you covered, which was next week's webinar.
Okay. All right. So next week, please join us on ways to increase our profits for 2023. I look forward to seeing you all there. And, listen, have a great evening. And I'm so happy to see and meet you all today. Hopefully we can speak again on a one-on-one.